to the Information 2023. Proudly organized by UPN Veteran Jawa Timur, I am Randy Panca and my partner.
Marshanda Tirsa. We are delighted to host this event at the exquisite Hotel Sirium, nestled in the beautiful city of Malang, East Java. It is an exciting day ahead with valuable insights and opportunities. We appreciate your presence and look forward for an enriching experience together. Thank you for joining us.
Shall commence the opening ceremony by singing the Indonesian national anthem, Indonesia Raya, and a patriotic song, Mars Bela Negara.
We kindly ask all participants to stand.
All participants may be seated. Ladies and gentlemen, as a gesture of warm greetings, we are delighted to present an exquisite and captivating traditional dance known as Tari Jejer, hailing from Banyuwangi, a city located in East Java.
This traditional dance is a significant part of Japanese culture and is often performed during traditional ceremonies or cultural events. This traditional dance is accompanied by traditional Japanese music instrument, gamelan. Tari Jejer itself represents gratitude for the harvest season that has arrived. So,
Please enjoy
Tari Jejer!
Kang nomor 1 ben tekan dawung sarta wong unak termeno angkat sampur mulai apregat
jaran jawo yaran mirika
Kang nomor loro pengen telu endase pundake nyang bokong itu angkat sampur sekarang mulai apregat nyepak dan angkat sempur timur apregat ang nomor 4 mulai yang kandangnya dek-dek angkat sempur sekali timur apregat
Wow, that was an outstanding performance that we have just witnessed, thanks to the dancer who have filled us with wonder.
But now, in the spirit of fostering a seamless and a harmonious flow for this remarkable event, we kindly invite you for the prayer all together.
We request the designated individual to step forward to lead us in a moment of prayer. For Dr. Basuki Rahmat, the stage is yours.
Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Good morning and greeting to all of us. Respected ladies and gentlemen, let us take a moment to pray according to our respective religions. For those who are of the Islamic faith, please follow me to lead. Alhamdulillah, Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Alhamdulillah, Rabbil Alamin. حمد الشاكرين حمد الناعمين حمد يوافي نعمه ويكافئ مزيدا يا ربنا لك الحمد كما ينبغي لجلال وجهك الكريم وعظيم سلطانك اللهم صل وسلم على سيدنا ومولانا محمد وعلى اله وصحبه وبارك وسلم اجمعين اللهم اغفر لنا ذنوبنا وكفر عنا سيئاتنا وتوفنا مع الابرار يا عزيز يا غفار يا رب العالمين ربنا آتنا من لدنك رحمة وهيئ لنا من أمرنا رشدا اللهم لك الحمد ولك المستكان وأنت المستعان ولا حول ولا قوة إلا بالله العلي العظيم يا أرحم الراحمين. Bless this gathering and make it a source of knowledge, wisdom, and understanding. Grant us the ability to learn, to share, and benefit from this information technology international seminar. ITIS 2023. Guide us thought and word and help us to gain insight and inspiration. We seek your blessing and guidance in this endeavor. ربنا آتنا في الدنيا حسنة وفي الآخرة حسنة وقنا عذاب النار وصلى الله على سيدنا محمد وعلى آله وصحبه وبارك وسلم أجمعين والحمد لله رب العالمين والسلام عليكم ورحمة الله وبركاته.
Thank you for the prayer, Dr. Basuki Rahmat. We hope this event will be continued gracefully today and next day. It is an honor for us to inform you that among us here we have
Respectable keynote speakers, Professor Saman Haldamuch, Professor Taufik, Professor Dr. Insinyur Rianarto Sanor, MSc, PhD,
and the IEEE Indonesia Instrument and Measurement Society Joint Chapter, Professor Endra Julianto, PhD.
IEEE Indonesia Control System Society and Robotics and Automation Society Joint Chapter Chair, Dr. Arjun Purni,
The Honorable Rector of UPN Veteran Jawa Timur, Professor Dr. Insinyur Ahmad Fauzi, MMT IPI, represented by Vice Rector of UPN Veteran Jawa Timur, Professor Ais Nurul Hidayah, STMT, PhD.
Honorable Dean of UPN Veteran Jawa Timur's Faculty Computer of Science, Professor Dr. Insinyur Novirina Hendrasari, MT, Dean of the Faculty of Engineering, Professor Dr. Jaria, MT,
First Vice Dean of Faculty of Medicine, Dr. Prasetyan C. S. T. Pratiwi, SPPD.
First Vice Dean of the Faculty of Architecture and Design, Mr. Eva Elviana, MT, and the respectable head of ITIS 2023, Dr. Anidia Rahayu.
And last but not least, all the distinguished guest delegates, ladies and gentlemen.
Before we jump to the next session of our program, let us take a moment to outline the schedule for today's proceedings. We have planned a series of events to ensure a day filled with inspiration and purpose.
We have commenced with an opening address that will set the tone for the day and will be followed by a welcoming speech. A significant moment awaits us as we move on to the memorandum of understanding, signing and followed by joining us for a group photo session.
As we progress, prepare to be inspired by our keynote speaker who will share their knowledge and insights. Their words will surely leave a lasting impact for all of us. And finally, the parallel session in the end.
Ladies and gentlemen, we have arrived now at the next session on the agenda, which is the welcoming remarks from the chair of the International Seminar Committee. It is with great pleasure that we invite Ms. Dr. Ani Diah Rahayu to the stage. Please welcome Ms. Ani Diah Rahayu.
Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Salam sejahtera Om Swastiastu, Namo Buddhaya, Salam Kebajikan. Honorable Vice Rector, Professor Dr. Wisnu Hidayah SDMP PNVS, Representative Rector of Universitas Pembangunan Nasional Veteran Jawa Timur, Honorable Dean of Computer Science Fakulti UPN Jawa Timur, and Professor Dr. Insinyur Nofirina Hindrasari SDMP, Dean of Faculty of Engineering Professor Jaria MP, First Vice Dean of Faculty of Medicine Dr. Prasetyani S2 Dewi, and First Vice Dean of Faculty of Architecture and Design Mrs. Eva Edviana MD, and Honorable Representative of Institute of Electrical and IEEE Indonesia section, Ms. Devi Puswidiastuti, who will join by Stimia, and IEEE Insurance Society Joint Chapter, Professor Endra Julianto, PhD, IEEE Indonesia Control System Society, the Joint Chapter, Ms. Arjun Kumrit, PhD, and Honorable Guest Speaker, Profesor Dr. Insinyur Yanato Santo, Psikologi dari Surabaya, and Professor Sama Helgamke from University of Melbourne, Professor Taufik from California Polytechnic State University, United States, who will provide useful knowledge for all of us at ITIS 2023. Our researcher and presenter for all over Indonesia who are present online and offline. In fact, currently present here also from Philippines, Dr. Angelo, and from Malaysia, Dr. Zamri, apart from being a presenter to this seminar, will also make a memorandum and understanding with UPN Jawa Timur Surabaya. Thanks God, ITIS 2023 has been holding the IEEE International event for 4 years with publication on IEEE Expo. I, as General Chair of this event, feel very proud and grateful to be here with all of you. Today, we gather to discuss the latest development challenges, enormous potential in the field of technology, like artificial intelligence technology has become one of the most amazing innovation and continues to experience rapid development and influence almost every aspect of human life. We are also faced with various challenges. Ethical, privacy, and security challenges are becoming increasingly complex as this technology grows. Therefore, it is vital for we not only celebrate innovation, but also reflect on the social, economic, and ethical impacts of development of this smart technology. The seminar is designed as a forum as expert research practitioners from various scientific disciplines to share their knowledge, experiences, and innovative ideas. We hope this seminar will not only provide you with deep insight into the latest development in artificial intelligence in every technology, but also inspiring discussions and bring solutions to the challenges faced by the global IE and technology community. There were 189 researchers who submitted their research to ITIS 2023, while 155 papers were ready to be reviewed, and, I'm sorry, and 82 papers were accepted, consisting of 38 online paper, 43 offline paper. This means only 52% is accepted. External paper consists 47 domestic researchers from various cities in Indonesia and 11 foreign researchers for paper we are accepted by ITIS 2022, including from Philippines, University Malaysia Pahang Malaysia, University Malaysia Sarawak Malaysia, West University India, Federal Institute of Brazil, Women University South Korea, Pennsylvania State University USA, National Taiwan of Science and Technology, Francis College India, and Tokushima University Japan. Thank you very much for your contribution to support for Information Technology International Seminar 2022. Please enjoy every moment at ITIS 2023. And wassalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.
Thank you, Ms. Ani Biarayu, for the opening speech.
Now we're going to listen to the opening speech delivered by Dean of UPN Veteran Jawa Timur, Faculty Computer and Science, Professor Dr. Insinyur Noviriana Hemrasari MP. Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome Mrs. Novirina Hemrasari.
Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. To the Honorable Rector of UPN Veteran Jawa Timur, to representatively first Vice Rector Professor Isnurul Hidayah, to the speakers, Prof. Taufik from California Polytechnic State, Prof. Saman Saldamus from the University of Melbourne, Prof. Dr. Andes Ekonomi Insinyur Yanarto Sarno, MSc PhD from Institut Teknologi 10 November ITIS Surabaya, Indonesia, Dr. Arjon Kurni PhD from Pajajaran University. And next to I respect the Honorable the Deans of UPN Veteran Jawa Timur or their representatives, Vice Dean of Faculty of Computer Science UPN Veteran Jawa Timur, Head of Study Program, Faculty of Computer Science, UPN Veteran Jawa Timur, lecturers and administrations, Faculty of Computer, UPN Veteran Jawa Timur, ladies and gentlemen of ITIS International Seminar Presenter, and ladies and gentlemen of ITIS International Seminar participants. Alhamdulillah, Rabbil Alamin. Thanks to grace and blessing of Allah Subhanahu wa Ta'ala, together we can attend the ITIS International Seminar 2023 healthy and happy. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the Information Technology International Seminar ITIS 2023. This conference welcomes contributions from all relevant fields, including information systems, information technology, and electrical engineering. IEEE is a forum for researchers to develop their knowledge through the publication of Scopus Index proceedings. The Information Technology International Seminar ITIS is conference organized by Faculty of Computer Science, UPN Veteran Jawa Timur. The conference was initiated on April 14, 2009. In 2020, it was technically sponsored by the IEEE CSS-RAS Indonesian section. This event will be an important annual platform for professionals, researchers, and students in the field of information technology to share knowledge, and experience and connect between universities at home and abroad. An important moment to foster international collaboration by bringing together professionals and researchers from various countries and nations. This can lead to global research initiatives and projects. Until 2023, this is the ninth year has been held with a venue in Batu Malang. The selection of this venue is the first time has left from Surabaya with the hope that participants, in addition to remaining concerned about the seminar, can also be fresher with beautiful scenery and fresh air the famous of city of Batu Malang. Dear ladies and gentlemen, before I end this speech, let me thank all those who have contributed. Thank you to the committee that has worked hard over the past year, led by Dr. Adi Dijak. Thank you to the presenters who are willing to share their knowledge. And of course, thank you to the attendees who are pleased to be here. That's all my brief remarks. Hopefully, this seminar will run smoothly and provide sustainable benefit for all of us. Thank you. Wassalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.
Thank you, Ms. for the opening speech.
Now we're going to listen to the opening speech delivered by Rector of UPN Veteran Jawa Timur, Prof. Dr. Insinyur Ahmad Fauzi, MMPI. But unfortunately, Mr. Ahmad Fauzi unable to attend today's event. Therefore, he is represented by Prof. Ais Nurul Hidayah, STMT PhD, as Vice Rector of UPN Veteran Jawa Timur. Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome Prof. Ais Nurul Hidayah.
Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. First and foremost, let us express our gratitude to the Almighty God for His blessings, so we can stay here for the ITIS 2023. The Honorable Dean of Universitas Pembangunan Nasional Veteran Jawa Timur, or its representative, and the Honorable Keynote speakers, Professor Saman Hagamuch from School of Electrical, Mechanical and Infrastructure Engineering, University of Melbourne, Professor Taufik as Director of Electric Power Institute, California Polytechnic State University, and Professor Yanarto Sarno from Institute of Technology 10 November Surabaya, and also the honorable sponsors from IEEE Indonesia, Profesor Kamantio, Profesor Endra Julianto, and also Bapak Anjon Turnik. And also I would like to welcome all participants and visitors from Philippines, India, Malaysia, Japan, and Indonesia. On behalf of Bapak Rektor, I would apologize that Bapak Rektor could not join with us because of his meeting agenda with Directorate of Higher Education at the same time this morning. Ladies and gentlemen, I wish to convey our appreciation to the Faculty of Computer Science, Universitas Pembangunan Nasional Veteran Jawa Timur, for organizing the seminar is for organizing the Information Technology International Seminar, or ITIS 2023. It's a good media for all participants or innovators to share their knowledge related to the developed technologies, especially in intelligent system technology. In our daily activities, The intelligent system technology, it has been well known, has played significant role. For example, using artificial intelligence has been utilized to improve the functional in every life. And also in the automation system, it has been using for optimizing industrial process and also in prominent infrastructure. The responsible use of intelligent system technology is quite crucial. We have to ensure that those technology can give more benefit, especially for the society. Therefore, it is our commitment in utilizing intelligent system technology to improve the social welfare, environmental sustainability, and promoting social inclusion. ITIS 2023 provide a unique platform to exchange ideas, also experiences, research finding, and to explore various aspects of intelligent system technology. And we also hope that in this conference, it will end up with fostering for national and international collaboration. We believe that during our seminar, it will have a good discussion and also idea exchange. And it will shape to create the future of intelligent system technology. Ladies and gentlemen, again, allow me to express our thanks for the organizing today and also all participants for your contribution in IPIS 2023. With it, thanks to the Dean of UPN Veteran Jawa Timur, to our distinguished speakers and all participants from many backgrounds, including academic, also in research area. Finally, with this pronouncement, I officially inaugurate the Information Technology International Seminar, or ITIS 2023. Thank you, and wassalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.
Thank you, Professor S, for the speech on behalf of Professor Ahmad Fauzi.
Now we're going to listen to the opening speech delivered by IEEE Indonesia section. This is Devi Kuswidiadevi, who will join by StreamYard. Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome Ms. Devi Kuswidiadevi.
Thank you very much for the opportunity. Dear distinguished guests, colleagues, researchers, professionals, ladies and gentlemen, Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Good morning. Prosperous, warm, and spirited greetings to all of you. First of all, please allow me to extend my warm greetings to the Honorable Rector of UPN Veteran Jawa Timur, Professor Ahmad Fauzi, and the Vice Rector of UPN Veteran Jawa Timur, Prof. Yus Nurul Hidayah, and ITIS 2023 Chair, Dr. Anidia Rahayu, as well as the distinguished keynote speakers for today, Professor Salman Halgamge, Professor Taufik, and Professor Rianarto Sarno. And last but not least, to the conference committee members and all participants. Ladies and gentlemen, on behalf of the IEEE Indonesia sections, I would like to extend our warmest welcome to all the keynote speakers, presenters, participants to the NINT Information Technology International Seminar, ITIS 2023. This year, the conference is held in hybrid mode, on October 18th until October 20, 2023. And this conference is organized by the Faculty of Computer Science of UPN Veteran Jawa Timur and It is also technically co-sponsored by IEEE Indonesia sections. ITIS covers the latest advances in information technology, which aiming to stimulate research that will lead to the creation and development of information system and information technology. With three technical tracks in the conference for this year, which covering the areas of information system, information technology, and electrical engineering, all of which perfectly belonging in the technical scope of IEEE, we can expect a good share of contributions through the technical papers presented in this conference in the form of innovative ideas toward the achievement of the 17 Sustainable Development Goals, including develop the solutions for critical sustainability issues that our planet is faces today. So, the IEEE Indonesia sections have carried out a large variety of activities over the 35 years of its operation in Indonesia. And one of our mission is aligned with the global mission of IEEE, namely advancing technology for humanity, which in our case is adapted to the conditions and necessities of the people in Indonesia, while still contributing to the mission's implementation internationally. We maintain good and mutual relationship and networking with the Indonesian government, industries, universities, professionals, and scientific organizations, and also to various communities in Indonesia. At the same time, we are also starting to work together with other IEEE sections in the Asia Pacific regions. We also had a cooperation agreement with the Director General of Higher Education, DIKTI, Dirjen Dikti, since 2021, which allows us to directly participate in the development of engineering higher education in Indonesia. We are also developing cooperation with professional organizations as well as universities in Indonesia. We are currently have 21 technical societies chapters and joint chapters covering the fields of interest of 27 IEEE societies, widely ranging from power and energy to computer to oceanic engineering and then to education to social implications of technology. These chapters support various scientific and academic activities in Indonesia, including technical co-sponsorship of international conferences. As of till now, today we have student branch and student branch chapters in 36 universities in Indonesia, which support educational early career development and international networking for university students. We would like to also invite all universities in Indonesia to establish their own IEEE student branch at their campus and maximize the potential benefits of talents and skill development for students through IEEE. Aside from that, we also hold workshops on STEM, science, technology, and engineering and mathematics for high school students in our attempt to attract the best talents to study in the field of engineering. In terms of international publications, according to IEEE Explore as of August 2023, there are almost 31,000 scientific papers in IEEE Explore with at least one author coming from Indonesia, published in IEEE co-sponsored conferences and IEEE journals. However, out of those 31,000, there are still less than 1,000 papers with at least one Indonesian author published in high-impact IEEE journals. Yeah. Accordingly, we encourage Indonesian researchers to publish their works in relevant IEEE journals. To conclude this remark, we highly appreciate the commitment shown by the organizer of ITIS 2023 to keep the quality of accepted papers at the highest level, focusing only on papers within the scientific scope of the IEEE and the conference. Finally, we wish you an enjoyable and valuable experience during this event. by sharing your best knowledge in the research area of your interest, and please make ITIS 2023 a memorable event. Thank you very much. Have a good day. Wassalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.
And now we're going to listen to the opening speech delivered by IEEE Indonesia Instrument and Measurement Society Joint Chapter, Professor Indra Julianto, PhD. Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome Mr. Indra Julianto.
Honorable Rector of UPN Veteran Vice Rector Dean of Faculty of Computer Science, Professor Novirina Hilasati, Honorable and distinguished keynote speaker, Professor Taufik from California Poly State University, USA, Professor Rianarto Sarno from ITIS, Indonesia, Professor Saman Algamuddin from Melbourne University, Australia, and for all participants in the conference, ladies and gentlemen, as the chair of the IEEE Indonesia Section Instrumentation and Measurement Society Joint Chapter in Information Theory Society, I would like to say that we are proud to support the ITIS 2023 under the guidance of the IEEE. We have seen that the previous ITIS has been successfully included in IEEE Expo from 2020, 2021, and the latest is 2022. And we are also hope that for the ITIS 2023 will be also included in IEEE Expo. Therefore, we need your full support for the success and also for the quality improvement of the ITs for the inclusion in the IEEE Expo. Today, we get together in Batu City, which is known as one of the famous tourist cities in Indonesia, because of the potential for extraordinary natural beauty of the city. And this is the good place for meeting and also for pleasure. So I think this is a very good choice by the committee that from the UPN Veteran Jawa Timur for selecting this location for the ITIS 2023 conference. And I wish that this conference will have a great success, and we would like to thank for the all contribution. Thank you very much.
Thank you for the welcoming remarks. And for the next session, we're gonna waiting for the crew event. Now, ladies and gentlemen, we have now arrived at a moment of great significance in today's proceedings, the Memorandum of Understanding draft signing ceremony. This is a pivotal juncture that underscores the collaborative spirit and shared vision that binds us together.
We would like to request your utmost attention as we move forward with this essential segment of our event. The MOU draft will be signed symbolizes a formal agreement and serves a testament to our mutual dedication to a common cause. As at this juncture, I invite our honorable signatories to come forward. The first one, Memorandum of Understanding between UPN Veteran Jawa Timur and University Malaysia Pahang. Please welcome to Dean of Computer Science Faculty UPN Veteran Jawa Timur, Profesor Novirina Hendrasari. Vice Chancellor for Student Affairs and Cooperation UPN Veteran Jawa Timur, represented by Professor Is Nurul Hidayah. Vice Chancellor of University Malaysia Pahang, represented by Dr. Zamri.
And also for the Memorandum of Agreement between the Faculty of Computer Science UPN Veteran Jawa Timur and Science Department of Adamson University, Manila. Please welcome to the Head of Science Department of Adamson University, represented by Dr. Angelo Beltran. Give it applause for the signing ceremony.
Ladies and gentlemen, the MOU draft is now officially signed. Please join us in offering our heartfelt congratulations to the signatories as we eagerly anticipate the positive development that will follow in the wake of this momentous occasion.
Thank you for the attention, and let us now proceed with the rest of our program. with renewed commitment and passion.
Before commencing to the next session, we extend to our most gracious invitation to the following distinguished individuals to grace us with their presence in a special photographic moment. These esteemed names are as follows: Mrs. Ani Dia Rahayu,
And for the second, we have Mr. Ahmad Fauzi, that represented by Professor Ais Nurul Hidayah.
next Mrs. Novirina Hendrasari, Professor Endra,
Mr. Arjon Jurnip,
those who are responsible for taking the photo, please set our tests to be at a perfect angle. Would also like to invite from University Malaysia Pahang, Dr. Sabun.
And every we also going to move forward to the next session, hands-on the vendor to the special guest. And also for the hands-on panel session, we kindly invite Professor Endra to the stage. My apology. Professor Rianarto, kindly invite to the stage. we move forward, say goodbye for today's event to Professor Ais Nurul Hidayat due to some certain reason that he's gonna leave this ballroom.
And before we move on to the next session with our speakers, we would like to inform you that you can grab some drinks and snacks that are provided, and you can enjoy them during this session. We would also like to remind participants who haven't filled out the attendance list to do so at the entrance.
And also, allow me to introduce a truly remarkable individual who will be guiding us through our keynote speaker session with grace and expertise. Please welcome Dr. Agus Salim.
Ladies and gentlemen, as we move forward, it's now time for us to begin this remarkable keynote session. To the moderator, the stage is yours.
Oke, Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Okay, I repeat one more. Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Okay, good morning everyone. Perhaps good afternoon of good night. Some of you that located in the eastern of Indonesia, especially for our keynote speaker who joining us online. There are Prof. Saman Halgamuk from Australia and Prof. Taufik from USA. Honorable keynote speaker of ITIS 2023, respectable rector of UPN Veteran Jawa Timur, that represented by Vice Rector of UPN Veteran Jawa Timur, the Dean of Faculty of Computer Science, UPN Veteran Jawa Timur, representation of Indonesian IEEE section, IEEE CSS Trust Indonesian Joint Chapter, Mr. Arjon Turni, PhD, and IEEE Indonesia IMS ITS Joint Chapter Chair, Professor Endra Julianto, Vice Dean of Faculty of Medicine and Faculty of Architecture and Design, the honorable guests and participants, presenter and committee of Information Technology International Seminar 2023. Ladies and gentlemen, I am Agus Salim, the moderator for this main session of ITIS 2023. And then I'm very pleased to see you here and welcome all of you to the seminar. For information, Information Technology International Seminar was initiated since 2006. And from 2020, ITIS is technically sponsored by CSS Trust Joint Chapter, and then start from 2023, ITIS also technically sponsored by IEEE Indonesia section and IEEE ITS IMS Indonesia Joint Chapter. Okay, the aim of this conference is to stimulate interaction and convergence among researchers active in area of technology, informatics, and information system. Today we have three keynote speakers that will share their insight and their expertise in the field of information technology, electrical engineering, and computer science. Okay, before we start this session, allow me to greet all honorable keynote speaker for this session. The first is Professor Taufik from Cal Poly State University. He's joining us online. Professor Taufik, are you already with us now?
Yes, I am.
Okay. It's great to have you here. Thank you very much. And then the second speaker is Professor Rianarto Sarno, MSc. He's joining us here. Oh, okay. And then the last speaker is Prof. Saman Halgamuk from the University of Melbourne. He's also joining us online. Professor Saman, are you already with us? Okay, thank you very much. Okay, before the presentation begins, let me inform how the presentation will be going on. First of all, speaker will be invited to present the material. After that, there will be question and answer session and followed by conclusion. Okay, before the first speaker begin his presentation, I will read some of short biography of our first keynote speaker. The first keynote speaker is Professor Taufik. He received his bachelor in electrical engineering with minor in computer science from Northern Arizona University, and then master in electrical engineering from University of Illinois Chicago, and doctor of engineering from Cleveland State University. He joined the electrical engineering department at Cal Poly State University in 1999, where he is currently a tenured full professor and the director of Electric Power Institute. He received numerous teaching awards, most notably in 2012, Outstanding Teaching Award from the American Society of Engineering Education. He is a senior member of IEEE and has industry experience with several companies, including Capstone Microturbine, Rockwell Automation, Renewable Power Conversion, and Sempra Energy. His areas of research include power electronics, power systems, rural electrification, energy harvesting, renewable energy, and smart grid. He also has published over 200 technical papers and journals, reports, book, course creator, and he also have 3 patents, where one of them is submitted for US patent 2021. Now, allow me to welcome the first speaker of ITIS 2023, Professor Taufik, to deliver his presentation. Prof. Taufik, the screen is yours.
Okay. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Good morning, good afternoon, depending on where you're at. It's great to be here. It's an honor to be here at this conference, and I kind of wish that I am there in person, so I can enjoy, Batu, Malang, which I know is very beautiful and a wonderful place to be in. Again, thank you for inviting me to be a speaker today. And what I plan on doing today is to share a little bit of what I have done, part of my research related to residential electricity, but I would like to kind of set the stage at making it more aligned to the theme of the conference, which is more on the information technology and the like. So therefore, my presentation today will be entitled Hybrid AC-DC House for Digitalization in Future Residential Electricity. So this is kind of like a invitation, if you will, invitation to all of you who are really into ICT technology, computational technology, sensing technology, and all of those. This would be hopefully be of interest to you and relevant to what we are doing today for this conference. All right. If I could get the presentation on the screen, is it on the screen or?
Mr. Aris, okay.
There it is. That's the cover of the presentation. Again, thank you for the very nice introduction. Again, my name is Taufik. I am currently professor in the Electrical Engineering Department at Cal Poly State University. I was born and raised in Indonesia, in case you haven't noticed. I moved to the US in 1999 and still living here in California, and work as a faculty member at Cal Poly State University. Next, please. Just a little bit about Cal Poly, because I'm guessing that majority of you do not know what Cal Poly is. Just briefly, it is used to be a polytechnic school before it converted into university back in 1972. It is a non-PhD granting school. Student body of about 22,000, faculty about 1,500, and we got 65 bachelors, 39 masters, and 84 minors, as well as 13 credentials. And our campus is the second largest in California, state of California, after UC Berkeley. All right, next. In terms of the colleges, we have a few. One of them is engineering, and as you can see, College of Engineering is the largest among all colleges at the university, with about 6,000 students, undergraduate students, and 250 grad students, with a total of a bit over 6,000 students. Next. So in case you're wondering where Cal Poly is, our campus is located on the central coast of California. Beautiful place. It's if you look at the U.S. map on the upper right-hand corner, right? We are in California, state of California, which is on the west coast, right? And as you can see, California is a long state from north to south, and we are located in the middle of the state, and we are close to the beach, right there. The city is called the city is called San Luis Obispo, and we are located in the middle of two industrial areas. To the north of us, we have the Silicon Valley, and to the south of us, we have the Southern California industrial areas, which includes Los Angeles and San Diego. Next. So this is a picture of the campus. So I'm hoping that someday some of you will be able to visit us, and likewise, I would really love to visit UPN campus. I've never been to UPN University campus. I passed through maybe several times. I got some families in Surabaya, but I never actually been to the campus. Hopefully someday I can visit the campus and we can get some collaboration going on between Cal Poly and UPN. But the invitation goes to everybody else as well. So if you like to visit our campus, as you can see, it's a beautiful campus surrounded by rolling hills, and we are about 15 minutes away from the beach, from the Pacific Ocean. So beautiful area. All right, next. And yeah, these are just some of the people who have visited us to do research with me at Cal Poly State University. We got some students, PhD students, undergraduate students from different countries: Philippines, Indonesia, Malaysia, Thailand, right? So on and so forth. And we also have some guests, academic visits from different campuses in Indonesia. All right, next. So that should be enough for introduction to Cal Poly. My presentation today centered around residential electricity. And so I would like to go over what we have these days and what I believe is going to happen in the future, and how does that constitute, challenges to us in the in the IT type of technology, right? So I'll go over sub-case examples for future house, and then part of it's going to be what I've been doing since 2010, which is the DC house project, research on DC house project, which evolves into hybrid AC/DC house. And after that, I'll go over some challenges, opportunities, and then close it out with the summary. All right, next. All right, so when we talk about conventional residential electricity, what are the properties of conventional residential electricity? Number one, as we know, it has a single point of source from the utility grid, such as in Indonesia from PLN, right? There's only one single source. And then it would operate strictly on AC system, which is the legacy, Tesla Westinghouse, system. And then in it, we could find some level of, manual and semi-automatic control of appliances, right, including lightings, windows, door locks, right, that we all know we operate manually, as well as nowadays we could do a kind of like a semi-automatic control of these components in the house, right? And it may also incorporate some smart components or appliances, right? As you already know, with all of these smart locks, smart plugs, right, so on and so forth. But unfortunately, at least at this stage, these components are working independently from one another, right? There's no true coordination to achieve, for example, a common goal, such as minimizing energy consumption or cost, or even improving energy efficiency, right? So from that sense, is they claim that these are smart, but it's actually not smart enough, right? Because mostly are for remote monitoring and operation. They send something, but they don't really take the active appropriate action, right? It's basically some passive type of action. All right, and then next, please. In terms of future residential electricity, what I believe is going to happen is that future houses would have multiple sources, and this could be from the grid, mainly from the grid, and then complementing the grid would be renewable energy as well as energy storage, right? And this is done for more sustainable energy usage, right? And in contrast with conventional house, the future residential house would, I would say, would incorporate both AC and DC electrical systems, right? And also, instead of manual or semi-automatic, it will be a fully controllable or fully automatic control of appliances, including lighting, heating, cooling, windows, door locks, and so on and so forth, right? And it would incorporate smart components or appliances such that they are actually coordinating, they are talking to each other, right? Instead of working independently, they would be communicating with each other, with one another, so that they can actually achieve a common goal, right? Such as, for example, comfort, or even multiple goals, right? Comfort, energy efficiency, and lower energy consumption, safety, protection, so on and so forth, right? And they do take appropriate actions upon, sensing something, right? And then calculate what needs to be taken as an appropriate action, right? And because of this, I would say, future one major component of our future residential electricity would rely on the progress that we will have to make on or in ICT technologies, IoTs, renewable energy, power electronics, sensors, as well as intelligent controls. Right. Next. This is just an example of what I maybe envision as a future house. Imagine if, let's say, in the future house, you're lying down on the sofa, just relaxing, not sitting, and or just lying down and relaxing, watching TV, right? Almost late at night, and let's say you're falling asleep, right? And then the smart components or smart devices in the house would actually sense it, right? And that would then communicate to other devices, right? And for example, the lights would then, based on the input from the sensors that you are falling asleep, then the lights will shut off. The other lights, I should say, the other lights will shut off, and then in case there's no other occupants in the house, but then the lighting in the room where the person is actually falling asleep would change color, right? So not shutting off the lights, but change the color or dim the lights, change the color of the light to something that's more comforting, right? And at the same time, for example, if there's some blinds that are still left open, it will close the blinds. And at the same time, temperature wise, if there is a thermostat in the house, right, the same input signal would talk to the sensors, the thermostat, and then determine what would be the most comfortable temperature for these people to sleep, or this person to sleep, right? Depending on, for example, inside the house temperature combined with outside weather condition. Yeah. And so as you can see, like a lot of these components are things, or are devices or components that will be running from DC electricity, right? So they are DC operated components, such as the sensors, right? Sensors, they operate with DC electricity. Microprocessors, they would also operate with DC. Same thing with other components. So then therefore I would say future residential electricity would also be expecting some progresses or some kind of adoption of DC electricity in the house, right? Next. I'm going to skip this example just for this sake of saving time constraint. So go ahead and next. Then what's more besides smart component or smart devices, right, with all of these sensors? Well, as I stated earlier, future houses would have multiple sources, multiple energy sources, right? So it's not just one. It's not just one electricity coming from PLN or the utility, but also some other energy sources from, for example, rooftop solar panels, or maybe there's some small scale wind turbines, or it could also be complemented with energy storage, such as batteries, right? So if that's the case, then we would have to have some kind of a brain or a way to coordinate these multiple sources and energy storage, right? In such a way that, for example, during daytime, when there's plenty of sunlight, then this brain or decentralized controller, if you will, would then determine whether or not the cost of electricity from PLN will be the highest. If let's say during that time, the cost of electricity is the highest, then why not then get the power from solar panels, right, or other renewable energy sources, right? If, let's say, during that time, the cost of electricity from the grid or from PLN in this example is cheap, then let's use the electricity from the grid, and then use the and then reroute the energy from the solar panels into our energy storage, right? But if the energy storage is full, then you can always export the excess energy to the grid. As you can see, the problems could be quite complex, right? When you have multiple sources plus energy storage, right? And when cost is also part of the equations. Anyhow, the same as before, energy storage, solar panels, fuel cells, small residential wind turbines, these are all based on DC, right? So now, as I said earlier, just want to re-emphasize that in the future residential electricity, um, it would rely on the progress that we made in DC electricity. Next. Okay, so here's the future houses. Um, I would say all the stuff, all of the items that I explained earlier, the examples, the sensors, the smart device, and so on, so forth. Those are, I would say, some of the major components as part of the global effort in, aiming for what we call the NZEH, house. NZEH stands for Net Zero Energy Homes. Right? It is a grid tied, energy efficient homes that produce as much renewable energy as they consume over the course of a year, resulting in a net zero energy bill and a carbon free home. It combines advanced design and superior building systems and rely mostly on solar panels as well as other renewable energy sources. So future houses, right, will incorporate renewable energy sources to make it multiple energy sources, as well as would be smart, right? With all of these sensors, intelligent devices, ICT technologies, automation, you name it, energy storage, right? This will be a complete package, if you will, of our future residential house. Now, again, all of these, the majority of all that you see on the screen right there, these are all mainly operating with DC electricity, right? That's the reason why since 2010, I started this research on DC house, which is a house that operates solely or purely on DC electricity. But at that time, the objective of the research was to help our brothers and sisters living in areas away from the grid to to get electricity, right? But then as I'm making as I made or presented the ideas to many universities and many occasions or conferences, there's always this one question about how can we adopt or implement a DC house into urban city, right, or urban areas. So that's what that's what motivates or uh, or gradually make the research direction evolve into hybrid ACDC. The fact that we cannot forget that there are also more houses in the urban areas, and how can we help support future residential houses in urban areas with DC electricity. So that's the reason why the research that I'm doing now is related to what we call hybrid AC/DC house. Next. In case you're wondering what is hybrid AC/DC house, from electrical distribution point of view, it is a house simply running two systems, AC and DC, as you can see from the simplified diagram there. There's a house, and then you have two inputs or two energy sources. The top one, that's the AC line, if you will. The bottom one, that's coming from, let's say, rooftop solar panels, that's going to be outputting DC, so you have DC line. So the house will have two lines, basically, right? AC line connected straight to AC loads, so it will be powering AC loads such as air conditioning, big washing machine, and so on and so forth. And then on the other side, the bottom side, you have the DC line, right? That would power DC loads, such as your USB chargers, sensors, all of these smart devices that runs, with DC. You can power those straight from the DC line instead of having some, conversion from AC to DC. Now, between those two, as you can see from the middle, right, there is going to be some crisscrossing between AC and DC. Right? This is to improve reliability of the system. In case, for example, during nighttime, there is no sunlight, right? So solar panels gone. If there is no batteries, then of course the power is going to be coming from, the grid only. If that's the case, then the DC loads will be operated from the AC line, right? And that goes through that box right there. That's called DC service panel, right? Where AC line goes into the DC service panel and it goes into the MISO converter. I'll talk a little bit about MISO and provide the DC loads from the AC line. Likewise, if let's say the utility electricity is out, let's say PLN is out, right, no electricity from the grid, then you could still provide power to the AC loads through the inverter right there. So there's another path from the DC line into the AC loads through the inverter. So again, this is a way, a concept, a conceptual AC/DC hybrid house, and one solution to provide the crisscrossing function would be to use that MISO converter right there, that small box called MISO. MISO stands for multiple input, single output. So it enables us to have multiple inputs and output just one DC DC output voltage. All right, next. So then that's basically what hybrid AC/DC is. But then what kind of challenges do we have, trying to establish this type of system? But there are lots of challenges. And one thing that is related strongly to the theme of this conference would be, being able to come up with or establish a unifying automated EMS. EMS stands for energy management systems. So this is where we need your help, people from, mainly from who have backgrounds in computing technology, computer science, and all of those, computer engineering. It would be great if you could help us on this aspect of the hybrid AC/DC house. Right? What it is that, as you can see from the diagram, you have this EMS, which is the centralized controller, right? That would be accessible through either HMI on the right side, human-machine interface, or some apps from cell phones or some portable devices. And then to the left of the energy management system, we have, cloud, if you will, so we can actually do some remote monitoring and control into this energy management system, which in turn controls or coordinate the different components in the hybrid AC/DC house. We can control which energy or which source should be used at any given time, whether or not we should charge the batteries, whether or not we should combine the AC and DC, as well as the sensors, powering the sensors, whether or not there's some sensor that are off, sensor that needs to be activated, and so on and so forth. So you can see that the job of that EMS, it's more than just coordinating, but also making sure that all of the smart components, smart sensors, everything works in that house. All right, next. So there's the MISO right there. I showed you that little box called MISO. So MISO originated from the previous research on DC house. That's the schematic of DC house. And MISO, again, it's a converter. It's an equipment, if you will, equipment that allows us to be able to accept multiple sources while outputting only one. And on paper, this looks easy, but trust me, when I say that this is actually quite a challenging problem. It took me years to actually be able to figure out how to actually do it the most efficient way. And alhamdulillah, by 2016 or so, I was able to 2016 maybe, I was able to patent the technology, the MISO technology, and the picture on the upper right corner, that's me holding the MISO converter that enables us to do this type of system, right? So yeah, it took me years to actually be able to overcome the problems. Next. Next, please. All right, this is just a quick picture on what we have at Cal Poly. We have a prototype, if you will, like not really a prototype, maybe a demo house, like this slide title shows you. That's a better wording for this. Demo house that would show or demonstrate the functionality of AC and DC when they mix together. So this is a system that we have at Cal Poly where we mix both AC and DC through MISO. the converter that we saw earlier. Right, so we have this at Cal Poly, and our students are still actively working on this research. And of course, if you are interested, I'm hoping that we can have more of this demo house in many campuses around the world. Hopefully in Indonesia as well. It doesn't take that much space to do this. And again, the objective here is to be able to develop, right, progress on this type of future residential electricity. So hopefully some of you will be interested, and if you are, please let me know, email me or contact me. Right? I'll be more than happy to follow up with you. Next. All right, other challenges. I won't go through this in details for the sake of time, but yeah, there are lots of challenges. I'm just showing you the one related to the theme of this conference, but there are other hardware challenges, right, as well as protection challenges. Right, that's going to be perhaps another discussion or another presentation. Next, please. But the thing is, those challenges, keep in mind, as you already know, those challenges present opportunities, right? It's actually a good thing to have challenges, because then we can try to solve these challenges and hopefully come up with some innovative solutions, right? Opportunities for us to come up with new innovative solutions, right? And that's the challenges I have for especially the younger generations here in the audience. If you are students, there's plenty of research work for you to do, to study. This is just a portion of it. All right, and going back to the challenges, MISO that I had earlier, right there, multiple inputs and then single output. One thing that I would really like to do as a challenge for you, especially people who are into computing technologies, is that one thing that I've not done is that if, let's say, you have two sources, or let's say three sources, right? What would be the most efficient way of sharing the loads, right? If, let's say, you have three sources, would it be best to share the load equally, 33% each, or would it be the most efficient if you just do, let's say, 50% for the first one, 25% for the second one, and 25% for the last one? Let's just say. But that's the research question that I have not addressed yet, and I would hopefully I would be able to connect with some of you to get some help, with this type of scenarios for controls. Definitely need some controller digitalization of this MISO basically. Right. Next. Another challenge would be is that DC, in contrast with AC, DC is not standardized, right? As you know, AC is all standardized. In Indonesia, for example, you can just buy any AC equipment, you just plug it to the wall at home, and that will be it, right? Because everything's standardized to 220 volts AC. Not the case with DC, right? In DC, we have multiple levels of DC voltages, DC loads, if you will. For example, we have USB, that's traditionally 5 volts. Then we have 19 volts load, for example, for laptops. And you have 12 volts, loads. You have 5 volts. You have 9 volts, 15 volts. So you can see that when it comes to DC loads, they are not standardized. So therefore, it is not a good idea, right? If you have a DC system, it's not a good idea to have multiple plugs, right? Multiple wall plugs. Imagine if your house is running DC, and you have multiple, wall plugs, wall sockets, right? One for 5 volts, another one for 12 volts, another one for 9 volts. I don't think that's going to be a good one, right? Because not many people know, right? What 12 volts mean, right? So anyhow, I think that would present a challenge for us, the fact that DC is unstandardized. So what do? Well, we came up with this idea of a smart wall plug, which again needs your help in terms of making it even smarter, right? What it is that this converter that you see in front of you, that circuit, that board that you see in front of you, is able to detect what voltage level is required to supply power. Right? So imagine you have a DC wall plug that is smart enough to be able to tell if, let's say, you are connecting 12 volts, then it will be able to detect that, hey, the load is requiring 12 volts. So therefore, it's going to output 12 volts. If you plug in 5 volts, then it will able to detect that the load is requiring 5 volts. So that's what I call smart DC wall plug. And so far we've done it, but I'm still not happy with it because it's the targeted voltage is still kind of a bit higher than the actual voltage putting out by the smart wall plug. That would cause some inefficiency issues. So if you could help me with making it more accurate controls, that would be good. Right, but that's another challenge, right, for you. Next. Another challenge with DC is protecting DC, right? Unlike AC, AC, imagine sine wave, a sinusoidal wave crossing zero twice a cycle, right? Therefore, protecting AC is simpler than DC because then you just wait until zero crossing, then you interrupt the energy that way. But with DC, if you think about DC current or DC voltage, it's always high. It never crosses zero. So then if there's a fault, then the fault will have a lot of energy for you to interrupt, right? And that's a very challenging problem for DC. And so people are looking into ways of doing this with solid state, solutions and so on and so forth. One thing that I looked into is called DC arc fault interrupt, DC arc fault current. This happens when you have two DC wires, and let's say it's worn out. Let's say some mouse chew on it, and so now you can have exposed wires between the two, and of course current can jump from one wire to another wire. That's arc fault current. Now in AC, the arc fault current is easily detectable, right? In time domain, you can easily detect AC fault current, but in DC, it's not the case. You cannot just look at the time domain of the DC current and then determine, hey, there's a fault, there's an arc fault. Unfortunately, that's not going to work because in time domain, even under the DC arc fault, the current will look like a normal current, right? And so before you know it, it's already too late. The house already catching on fire, right? Because again, if you look at just the time domain solution like AC, you're not going to be able to interrupt it. So then what we did is instead of looking at it from time domain, we analyze the arc fault from frequency domain. So that's another computational intensive type of processing, right? To go from time to frequency back to time. So that's what we found out is that if you want to protect DC system from arc fault current, then you got to use a more complicated system, which require more digitalization of the controller.
I'm sorry, Prof. Taufik. The time is 2 minutes left.
Yeah, I think it's done. Yeah. So I think that's it. If you go to the next one. Yeah, so that's more that you could do with DC, right? Nowadays you have DC based appliances, and sky's the limit, right? If you like to come up with some more DC appliances, there you go, right? Yeah, next. So to summarize, I believe the move to AC/DC hybrid residential electricity is a must to support the digitalization of future house or homes that are sustainable and smart. Advances in ICT, sensors, power, intelligent controls will help catalyze the establishment of AC/DC hybrid house. There are still many challenges related to DC load and source interfaces, DC protection, but these present opportunities for us to innovate, as I mentioned earlier. But we need to move fast, right? Because otherwise we're going to be behind all the time. We need to jump in the wagon and do this as quickly as possible, right? And I hope that this presentation would trigger some interest for collaborations and partnership, because that's what we need for this project. It's a big project, it's a huge undertaking. It takes a village or more to actually finish this research project. So please let me know if you're interested. Let's collaborate. And finally, if you go to the next slide, or maybe next after this, that's the last one. Yeah. If you do have any questions beyond this conference, please feel free to email me. And there's the contact that I'm providing you on that slide. All right. Thank you so much for listening to the presentation. I hope that this could be something useful for you. And yeah, I'm hoping that we can do some kind of collaboration in the future. Looking forward to hearing from some of you from this conference. Thank you again for the opportunity. And Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.
Waalaikumsalam warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Okay, thank you very much for Professor Taufik for such informative and interesting presentation. Before we going to the Professor Saman Halgamuk from Melbourne University. Okay, before the presentation of Prof. Salman, I will read short biography. Professor Saman Halgamuk, Fellow of IEEE, IAT, and AAIA, received the Bachelor Science Engineering degree in Electronic and Telecommunication from the University of Morutawa, Sri Lanka, and the Diploma Engineering and PhD degree in Data Engineering from the Technical University of Darmstadt, Germany. He is currently a professor of the Department of Mechanical Engineering, the School of Electrical, Mechanical, and Infrastructure Engineering, the University of Melbourne. He is also an honorary professor at Australian National University and Institute Technology, Bandung. He is listed as a top 2% most cited researcher for artificial intelligence and image processing in the Stanford database, and his paper are cited over 13,000 times with H factor of 50. He was a distinguished lecturer of IEEE Computational Intelligence Society 2018 and 2021. His research interests are in artificial intelligence, machine learning, including deep learning, optimization, big data analytics, and their application in biomedicine and engineering. He supervised 50 PhD students and 16 postdoctoral at University of Melbourne and Australian National University to completion. Okay, please welcome to the second speaker, Professor Salman Halgamuk. Screen is yours.
Thank you very much for the kind introduction, and I hope you can hear me. And I'm trying to share the slides, or slides are uploaded. Yeah, you can see the slides. Perfect. All right. Okay. All right. So I have to say that I'm also somehow connected with Indonesia because I'm an honorary professor of ITB, and I also co-supervise a student and with Professor Indra, and so that student Adiana should be here at the conference. So it's a pleasure to be able to present, but unfortunately I was unable to come. And so let me start with my presentation by saying that as an engineer and who is working on AI, and as a computer scientist, of course we love machines, but we love humans more. So so this is my catchy phrase to start with. So AI must be regulated. So this is something I always say. and there are few attempts, and European Union want to regulate AI. Maybe the world should look at it in a different light and think about using AI fantastically, but at the same time also regulating it so that people are saved and the world is saved. Okay, so this is the rough outline. And what do we expect in a future AI, 21st century AI? So these days people are talking about deep fakes. So I'll talk about some of our work, very recent work we're doing. And then I talk about the underlying principle of my research group in pursuing AI research. There's a bit about the elephants in the room, and that means the things that we don't want to talk about. I'm sorry, this is unexpected call because I did not expect to be this late, and so people are calling me because the agenda was changed. So okay, I'm very sorry I had to answer this call. Sorry, I'm actually doing a keynote and it is late. So okay, all right. So okay, now and then I'll talk about some of the applications that is of relevant to developing countries, hopefully to you as well. So we can't talk about AI today without mentioning ChatGPT. So it's a funny experiment I have done, and I asked ChatGPT in which countries do we have the name Saman. So that's my first name, and well, interesting. Iran, I knew that. Afghanistan, I knew that. Sri Lanka, this is where I was born. So that's all correct. Pakistan, of course, it's a kind of Arabic name. And Indonesia, of course, Indonesia has the name and Saman, and it's probably written slightly differently. And it means forgiveness and mercy, okay, which is nice. So, but what is missing here is Saman is also a name known in Thailand. So ChatGPT is not perfect. It provides sometimes very wrong answers, as you know. And so it is a nightmare at the universities right now because we try to convince our students don't use ChatGPT to do your assignments, right? Because it is not accurate, even though it might sound accurate, but ChatGPT can be used to gain knowledge. So what type of AI future we do not want? So you can read this. I'm sure everyone will agree that this is the type of AI we do not want. Basically, we don't want AI to be used to harm us, just like any other technology. Can AI be used to harm us? Yes, it can be. So this is why the regulation is essential. All right. So now, what is a machine learning method or AI method that works? As a AI researcher, for me, it is this diagram that you see. Unfortunately, I couldn't run any animation because I was with this system, so no animation is possible, unfortunately. So otherwise, you have to imagine that this animation shows this red point actually reaching the optimum. So so the neural network, a machine learning method, an AI method, finally is a point in the space where we think that this is the solution, optimum solution. So as a AI researcher, for me, if you ask me to show you a one diagram that describes AI, and I would be explaining this diagram to you. So starting with the initial solution that may not be accurate, and in this process called learning, particularly in machine learning, we try to reach this point, which is an unknown point, automatically. So this is where some people call AI doing magic, right? It's not magic, it's optimization, basically. So there's quite a lot of effort done in recent times about image processing. So if you look at the left-hand picture, so if you know the history, and you will see who that is. And so we can create a image processing, very simple, basic method to capture this information in this image and to say that this is actually Abraham Lincoln from United States, and it's not Obama, it's not Trump, it's not Biden, and the system can be trained very easily. And this actually changed the entire area of computer vision in the last 20 to 30 years, and that is what some of you may recognize as convolutional neural networks. That is very, very popular right now. So now on the left-hand side, this picture, this is also animation which you can't see. If animation runs, then you will see that this picture gets changed. Various different types of people appear, different nations, from different continents, but all of them have something in common because all these pictures are fake. They are not real people, even though they look like real. So this is another area of AI that is that excites people. That's generative models. So the AI's ability to look at the real things and then create not so real, but things that appear to us as real. Okay, so some people use this to create art, sculpture, music of artists who passed away a long time ago, because we have hundreds and hundreds of their songs, and we can use that song to create a new version of a song that sounds like the singer, but it's not real, right? So these are harmless and very nice applications, but there are also not so harmless applications of this. So in order to explain what is this generative models, so if you have heard of AI a little bit, you can see that AI talked about classification, discrimination between class 1 and class 2, and either this or either that, and that is the right hand side. So the basically separating the blue dots from the orange dots, and that is the discriminative AI. But generative AI is like this. Generative AI is looking at the green dots, and here, for example, cats, and to create something that look like cats with some efforts. That this something that look like cats could be a dog that we create. So generative AI is about inspiring from existing data and creating something new. So it's quite different direction to the more well-known AI, which is discriminative AI. So we work a lot more on generative AI these days because it's quite popular and also quite new. So our newest paper was presented a couple of days ago in France, and this is what we call undercover deepfakes, detecting fake segments in videos. So now when you come to this conference in beautiful Mullen, and which is a very nice place, I know, but even though I couldn't come, so you are 100% sure that everyone in your conference room are human beings, right? So there are no robots. You're sure about that. But what if the AI and the technology help to create humanoids that look like humans, but they're fake humans, right? Can we actually recognize them? So if they are together in 10 of them, we can probably. But how about if they just sit next to you and say hello to you, just like anyone else? Can you still recognize them as humanoids? So this is a problem that we don't have today, but we have been thinking about it. So this is about how do you recognize fakes that are mixed with original ones, right? So it's a quite interesting work. So now I have to say that in a good tradition of AI, we put all our codes, all our papers on arXiv and GitHub. So you can download our papers, just have to look for my name, and everything is available, code is available. And this is a good tradition of the academia in AI. And we tend to distribute the technology, which we call democratization of technology. So another underlying principle of this paper that we presented is diffusion networks. So how do you actually get an image and make that image look blurry and blurry and blurry, so to the point that you don't understand it anymore as a dog? and then can you reconstruct it to be, to the same thing like the dog? You can, but then in doing so, can you actually add something so that it will not be exactly the same dog, something different? So this is diffusion networks is quite active right now, and a lot of PhD students are working on this stuff in the world. So that brings me to tell you this is what I'm doing in terms of research, and this yellow square on the right hand side, and there's an x-axis and y-axis. You may have seen this slide before if you listen to my talks. And on the x-axis is about democratization of AI. That means we try to generate AI automatically so that you really do not need AI experts to do AI. So you can use it by pressing a button. You can generate an AI system. And that is the idea of this green x-axis. The green y-axis is to add explanation at different levels to AI. So AI shouldn't be a black box. It should explain what it does. So we want to combine these two axes, and by doing so, we want to actually create this yellow square, and which we call social responsible AI or fair AI, which can be used by other people, which is explainable, and therefore it can also be regulated easily, right? So one issue why we cannot regulate all AI is AI are black boxes. So this answers a couple of problems in that space. Now I come back to my main part of the talk, which is the AI in developing countries. And so when I think about it in a very, very generic terms, I mean, I work in Indonesia a little bit in different projects, but this is generally. I also work in Africa quite a bit, and Sri Lanka quite a bit, and in other countries. So democratize access to all technologies is important, right? Access should be unrestricted for scientists, researchers in developing countries. And then experts need to be smart in solving problems. And because some of those problems in our countries cannot be solved just by using technology. So technology should go hand in hand with policy and other things. Otherwise, technology alone cannot solve this. So be smart in using technology in the right time, in the right way is important. And then it's an important other factor I see is outsmart the fraudsters. How do you actually outsmart the fraudsters? People try to cheat people in countries, and how do we actually use AI and to make this gaming the system difficult? So stealing difficult, corruption difficult, and so on and so on, and wastage difficult to achieve. So here is some of the things where we can marry AI directly with some of the problems that people talk about, and social responsible AI spotting discrimination. So that's one aspect. So how do we actually help women, children, and minorities who may not feel comfortable? And we can use social responsible, explainable AI to spot discrimination. That is an application we can do. And letting corporate greed determine the fate of countries. Some good companies behave differently in developing countries. So this is a double standard. Sometimes big companies go to developing countries and they are good citizens. They are doing all the right things, but same company goes to Africa and then or some other developing countries, and their behavior is very different. Can we actually create visuals, content using AI to interpret some of these unpleasant situations that created by companies? I don't want to go to specifics, but I give you some ideas so that you can think along these directions a little bit longer, and then you will probably find an application directly. Sometimes the rights are violated by people. So in the US, for example, some key AI researchers were looking at GANs and to hide the faces when people were protesting against President Trump a couple of years ago, because people were scared that even though they protested for right reasons, but they will be prosecuted. And then AI researchers in, for example, from Stanford were working on a project to actually take the videos and then change the faces and before it is released to the TV, so that they won't be recognized and prosecuted or whatever followed, even though they haven't done anything illegal in the United States. All right, now the biggest problem is corruption anywhere. How do we actually attack corruption using AI? So this is an elephant in the room. People don't want to talk about these things, right? So this is why I'm putting it here. So can we actually create a ChatGPT corruption indicator? Well, I don't want to talk about this too much, but if you ask me some other occasion, I will tell you, because I have only 30 minutes, but there are some thoughts on this. How do we actually find corruption in the world and then display, of course, taking away the name so that the style of corruption. We thought about this when my PhD student went to Africa. And so he found so many things that we could tell, but when we tell them, then we expose other people. So how do we tell that without exposing individuals? Because that will be illegal. Brain drain, illegal drugs and alcohol, big problems. And AI can actually find, AI can actually help in these things. One area to look at is autoencoders. If you know AI, if you're familiar with it, autoencoders can be used to detect odd behaviors, right? And so if we only train the autoencoders with normal behaviors, and if an odd behavior, wrong behavior is detected, and the autoencoders can raise an alarm. Okay, this is something wrong happening, and that can be, autoencoders can be used for that. So as supervised learning, unsupervised learning, and because when you look at the corruption, some of the corruptions are similar. What is happening in country A is happening in country B, country C. It's very similar. So you can extract the patterns and you can apply supervised learning. But sometimes this corruption is very endogenous. So it happens in country X only. It won't happen in country Y. So these are harder to detect. So we looked at that. We have actually written a paper and explaining a little bit of it. And it's not yet published, but it's an invited paper in an Elsevier journal. Hopefully it will come out this end of this year. Okay. So every country has to create a strategy, and AI can enable creating these strategies, not only to look at wastage and corruption, but also to enable local talent. How do we actually enable local talent to be successful in international market? And how can AI change all aspects of our life locally, our village? And so this is where the AI democratization can play a huge role. I know I'm going a little bit fast here because I don't want to rush towards the end. So you can see India, China, Vietnam, and very, very fast moving. They are Indonesia, Philippines, Thailand, and making use of technology, economic revival. And maybe some people may see them as developing countries, but there's quite a lot of wealth created. And technology has played a huge role in it. And we need to congratulate them. We need to look at them and learn from each other. So Indonesia and Malaysia, the two universities signed an agreement today at the conference. I was delighted to see that. So this is what should happen. So there should be more cooperation among these countries who are actually developing very fast right now, and technology is playing a significant role. So there are various strategies, and again, I will go very fast here. One strategy would be to look at the education center, education sector, both public and private. And then the other strategy for me personally would be to look at industry, because I leave out the governments generally. So in the governments, it's very hard to deal with. Of course, I've been to your Ministry of Education, I've given some talks, explanations, and so on. But I think for us, it is easier to focus on education and industry. So there are lots of opportunities if you actually get education and industry together. And when you travel, you look at these baggage handling conveyor belts in airports and you think, wow, did anyone think about applying technology to make it better, make it efficient, and make it safer? And I don't think it's enough. I can give out finally a project to students to come up with a plan how to do it better, but it's not implemented. It's still quite old-fashioned in even most modern airports. So just a thought, right? You might be saying, oh, this speaker is talking very general, but here is an application. If you can actually create a system and you implement that in your local airport, and then you implement that in your international airport, and then you can market to other countries, the idea, okay? So there are so many things that to be done. So now the question here is, people talk about green window of opportunity. So now anything we do everywhere in the world should be sustainable because we live in one planet, single planet. Of course, the richer countries polluted the earth quite a bit, and Australia is still doing it. But still, why renewables? Okay, and so because renewables are also getting cheaper, right? And AI is playing a role there as well. So my PhD student is actually working on an AI project looking at Kenya and Uganda. So one of the things he noticed is these motorcycles are very popular form of transportation in Kenya, Uganda, and so on. And they have a project to electrify these motorbikes, and they call it bodabadas. And I do not know exactly what it means, but it sounds good. And so this is a picture that he has taken and passed on to us. And the Kenya 71.4% electrification, which is pretty good compared to Uganda, 41.5% electrification. So this is the student who is traveling between some of these countries and us and doing a PhD and trying to do very nice work looking at rural grid extension. And okay, I think, how many minutes do I have? Okay, I keep talking, but please give me a warning at least a couple of minutes before. So this project, we try to help creating a grid expansion, at the same time also helping people to live without a grid, because alternative energy, renewable energy means that you can have a solar panel, then you can have a system supporting children's education where there's no electricity. There's quite a lot of work that we can do. And so this is a key work we're doing. And part of that is also electrification of cooking, which is a challenge, because sometimes people like the taste of the food cooked using firewood, right? And we all know that they have if you are used to that, we love it, right? So, but still, if firewood is becoming less and less common, so how do we actually help people to move to electrical cooking, right? So these are the problems that we are looking at. So I think they may be very different from the problems Indonesia has, but I'm just reporting on what we are doing. So, and the microgrid adoption, how do we help use AI for adoption of microgrids, considering the trends in these countries, right? If the country wants these motorcycles to be electrified, it will have an impact on on the grid, because they will be charging these motorcycles in the evening, everyone, right? So how do we actually support that? And so this terrifies any power engineer when you look at that. This was taken from an African country. I'm not sure whether I can tell you where, but this is a company from Berkeley and UC Berkeley, and who actually installed these sensors, and then you can see the variation of the voltage. So it's supposed to be 240, and there's a huge variation around that. So that is another challenge. If the electricity grid has such a variation, and how do we expect the electrical goods to survive? Okay, so now we we are also working on this problem right now to understand and how much this this variation is causing problems. Now, these slides, some of these slides does not make too much without the animation, so I will move fast. And so these are various AI applications done in everywhere, not only developing countries. And I come to this one. So that my major part of my AI applications in my group is health and medicine. So and this is where we have most of the funding. So but there are projects that can be done in developing countries, and some of this might be related to you, some of this may not be. And I know that Indonesia has done quite a nice work in combating mosquito menace, but not many countries have done it. And Singapore has done quite good work in that too. And so clean water could be a problem for some countries, probably not in Indonesia. So aged care is a problem both in developing as well as developed countries. So malnutrition may not be an issue in Indonesia, but it's an issue in other countries. And this is a paper we published in
I'm
development.
sorry, Prof. Saman, the time is left.
Okay, this is kind of my second last slide. Thank you for that. So there's a paper published about the social responsible AI and application in food processing, agriculture, and health, thinking about developing countries. And this is again in archive. Just look for it. And it's an ISI journal, but it is in archive, so you can access it. And this is my last slide, acknowledging the funding. So as I mentioned, most of my funding is from Australian sources, Australian government, Research Council, and Medical Research Council. And I also had a project from Australia Indonesia Center in the past, and philanthropy and industry. So we just received our second Google grant, and I don't think it's even mentioned here. So 2 Google grants and lots of PhD scholarships, and our collaborations extend internationally as well as locally. And thank you very much, and happy to answer any questions if you have.
Okay, thank you very much for Professor Saman. For the informative and interesting presentation. Okay, next we are going to the last but not least keynote speakers. Profesor Dr. Andes Isi Insinyur Yanarto Sarno MSc PhD. Would you join us here? Okay, before the presentation starting, I'm going to read some of biography of Professor Yanarto Sarno. He is ITS professors that won top 2% scientists in the world in 2021. Okay, since 2003, Professor of Software Engineering in ITS Surabaya, graduated with a Bachelor of Electrical Engineering
S1
at ITB in 1983 and Bachelor of Economics in Universitas Pajajaran in 1985. He completed his Master and Doctor of Science in Computer Science at the University of New Brunswick, Canada in 1988 and 1992. His expertise in the field of information technology is often applied in cooperation in private and state-owned company. He once assisted the East Java provincial government as an expert council and as an expert in the East Java Provincial DPRD. Okay, now allow me to welcome the third speaker, Professor Dr. Rianarto Sarno. The floor is yours.
Okay, thank you. Maybe turn up a little bit the
bisa
video.
diterapkan. Contohnya saya membangun aplikasi untuk usaha kecil menengah atau mikro, aplikasi untuk retail. Cara metode mengandung keilmuan artificial intelligence, business intelligence untuk membantu penentuan vendor yang baik, membantu pengoptimalan profit, membantu mengefisienkan operasional. Jadi yang dipentingkan adalah academic environment itu yang mendukung. Dosen itu sebetulnya menjalankan tridharma, yang mendidik, meneliti, yang mengabdi pada masyarakat. Dan ini saling terkait. Jadi pada waktu kita mengajar, kita juga berpikir bagaimana riset-riset kita yang bisa diajarkan di kelas, sehingga mahasiswa tertarik. Kemudian hasil dari pengajaran yang mengandung kebaruan riset, kita ajak mahasiswa menerapkan untuk pengabdian masyarakat, dan pengabdian ini bermanfaat bagi sekeliling kita khususnya dan bagi penumbuhan ekonomi tentunya. Pada waktu diumumkan sebagai pemenang Cinta Award terproduktif, itu pertama bersyukur kepada Allah, kemudian yang lebih penting lagi adalah mudah-mudahan langkah saya yang kecil ini bisa bermanfaat untuk dosen-dosen yang lain, membantu memotivasi bahwa we can do it, kita bisa melakukan publikasi yang baik. Di dalam Cinta Award itu kan kita diminta untuk penelitian yang dipublikasikan di jurnal yang baik, yaitu yang terindeks ke Scopus dan juga yang masuk ke impact factor yang tinggi itu. Jadi ini sebetulnya bagus untuk peningkatan standar kualitas dosen di Indonesia. Cara-cara semacam Cinta Award ini penting untuk memotivasi dosen, sehingga kita lebih banyak publikasinya, sehingga semua perguruan tinggi ini menjadi world class university.
Okay, so that's the introduction of me. So I got the Cinta Award in 2019. Okay, so good morning, good noon a little bit, ladies and gentlemen. So I will present my articles now, several of my research. So please, the first page. So basically I like to discuss about, this is the last introduction of me. Next, my presentation. Okay, so I will discuss about generative AI for health applications. And next. Okay, just recently we discussed about generative AI. So basically the future of AI will be not only the descriptive. Next. Okay, wait a minute. Before, let me emphasize, basically generative AI is the part of the deep learning, okay, because we compose from neural networks. Okay, so it's better if I go down and then I have more time to check this one. Okay. Okay, so the generative AI, part of AI, and then machine learning, and then part is deep learning, and then generative AI. Okay, next. Okay, so this is the predictive, what we have done before is the predictive AI, and you can see that the data usually in the predictive is structured data, and for the generative AI, so we are having unstructured data. Okay, so this major difference. Okay, next. Okay, this for generative AI, the input could be image, and there are several output, could be text, image, and video. Okay, and then next. Okay, the input also can be text, and the output text, output image, output audio, and output also decision. Okay, next. Okay, so you can model like a large language model, LLM, and then text to text, text to image, text to video, and text to task. There are several applications that you can develop based on this concept. Okay, next. Okay, so this is the product, open source that you can use. ChatGPT-4, ChatGPT, AlphaCode, BART, Cloud, DALL-E4, DALL-E2. Okay, there are many that you can try to exercise and several applications that you can try to develop. Okay, next. Okay, that's this picture was explained before by Mr. Saman. So that part, the life part, is discriminative, usually for classification or for clustering. So we differentiate between cat and dog. But for the generative AI, it's more than separation or more than classification. So not only the classification between cat and dog, but also explain what kind of dogs, what kind of cats. So future explanation. Okay, next. Okay, so this future for the healthcare application, it's like the flight path. For the airplane, we monitor, we keep track the plane starting from takeoff to the landing. So for the healthcare also, for a patient, many patients can be monitored starting from the ill until to the healthy condition. So the doctor or the also the family member can see, can monitor the growth or the process of the patient. Okay. Okay, it's like the flight path, but the flight path of patients could be in the hospital or could be at home. Okay, next. Okay, so next, there are several implementations that I will show to you based on my previous research. Okay, next. Okay, this little bit. I also develop a electronic nose, the replica of human nose. So basically, the equipment can smell and then can detect the classification. Next. Okay, so based on the sensor, gas sensors or liquid sensors, and then there are several signals. You can differentiate the left side, my left side, the fruit ripeness detection, also tofu formalin, also like the asthma or several applications. Next. Okay, this is the process. Since the signal processing to the decision, so we can discuss later the detail. Next. Okay, this is the signal processing. Before, after, there are several treatments starting from the sensor to the decision. Okay, next. Okay, this is the detail I will discuss here. Next. Okay, the classification. Okay, next. Okay, so since the COVID 2020, I developed one equipment to detect COVID. So Prof. Kuat from UGM proposed Keynote, and I proposed INOS to detect COVID from the sweat, the smell of sweat. So this is the example. Next. Okay, this basically explain how to detect COVID based on the smell of the sweat. Okay, next. Okay, please play this video. But excuse me, this is in Indonesian. The sound, please.
Selamat datang, hari ini kami persembahkan INOS C19, alat screening COVID-19 pertama di dunia, yang menggunakan bau keringat ketiak seseorang. Auxiliary sweat atau keringat ketiak non-infectious, berarti limbah maupun udara buangan INOS C19 tidak mengandung virus COVID-19. Waktu yang dibutuhkan, cepat. Baik untuk sampling maupun proses. INOS C19 melakukan sampling dan proses dalam satu alat. Data terjamin handal karena disimpan di alat maupun cloud. InnoC19 dapat terintegrasi publik, pasien, dokter, rumah sakit dan laboratorium. InnoC19 berbasis Artificial Intelligence untuk screening positif negatif COVID-19. Hasil screening dari InnoC19 dapat dikirim ke WhatsApp, sehingga seseorang bisa langsung mendapat hasil pada telepon genggamnya. Sertifikat hasil screening dilengkapi QR Code untuk mengetahui keaslian dari sertifikat. InnoC19, COVID-19 Public Screening.
Based on the concept of artificial intelligence that we implement, and then we can detect the existence of COVID through the smell of sweat. Okay. Next. Okay, this another application is I develop equipment to navigate the surgery in the brain. Okay, let me give you the video. Next. Okay, please turn on the video.
Setiap hari, teknologi di dunia medis terus berkembang, terutama akan kebutuhan tindakan operasi dengan tingkat akurasi dan presisi yang tinggi. Kunci utama keberhasilan operasi otak terletak pada seberapa akurat dan presisi target dapat ditentukan.
Anatomi tiap orang itu memang relatif sama, namun morfologinya dapat berbeda-beda ya. Apalagi misalnya ada kelainan di dalam otak, misalnya ada tumor atau ada kista atau ada sesuatu yang lain, maka morfologinya akan berbeda ya.
Untuk menyelesaikan permasalahan tersebut, kami memperkenalkan BAMAK, rangkaian produk perencanaan operasi otak lengkap dengan software dan hardware. Dibandingkan dengan aplikasi serupa, software BAMAK menonjolkan 8 keunggulan.
Yang pertama adalah zoom yang sangat tinggi. Jadi dengan pembesaran yang sangat tinggi, maka tindakan yang dilakukan akan lebih presisi dan lebih akurat. Kelebihan yang kedua, program ini dapat menggabungkan berbagai macam imaging, mulai dari MRI, angiografi, CT scan, dan CT angiografi. Dengan dijadikannya satu, kita bisa melihat struktur otak ini dan pembuluh darah yang ada di dalam otak itu lebih detail. Selanjutnya, otomatisasi dalam penentuan anterior komisur, penentuan posterior komisur, dan otomatisasi dalam penentuan PIM. Yang keempat adalah pemodelan 3D. Pemodelan 3D ini dapat membantu seorang dokter untuk mengamati struktur otak dari berbagai sisi, sehingga seorang dokter dapat merencanakan operasi yang lebih baik. Kelebihan yang kelima, berbagai macam software stereotaktik yang ada, kebanyakan yang bisa diekspor adalah screenshot-nya. Tapi dengan software BAMAK ini menyediakan suatu kelebihan untuk mengekspor diagramnya. Selanjutnya yang nomor 6, multi-study, multi-patient. Seorang dokter itu bisa membandingkan kondisi pasien satu dengan pasien yang lain dalam satu layar. Dan yang ketujuh, otomatisasi brightness dan kontras. Begitu kita klik otomatisasi brightness dan kontrasnya, kita bisa melihat struktur otak dengan lebih bagus lagi. Yang kedelapan adalah BAMAK bisa digunakan dengan berbagai brand stereotaktik yang sudah biasa dipakai seperti Lexel dan Inomed.
Untuk menjamin akurasi dan presisi, software ini dilengkapi dengan stereotaktik BAMAK. Stereotaktik BAMAK didesain dan disupervisi langsung oleh dokter ahli bedah saraf yang memiliki jam terbang tinggi. Sehingga, stereotaktik BAMAK memiliki desain yang nyaman untuk pasien, sekaligus memudahkan dokter dalam melakukan tindakan. Stereotaktik BAMAK dimanufaktur menggunakan bahan dasar titanium yang terkenal akan kekuatannya. Sehingga stereotaktik BAMAK memiliki usia operasional yang lebih tahan lama.
Aplikasi BAMAK sudah diuji akurasi dengan cara membandingkan aplikasi BAMAK dengan aplikasi golden standard yang banyak digunakan di dunia saat ini. Hasilnya, perbedaannya mendekati 0, yaitu hanya 0,25 mm. Jadi, aplikasi BAMAK sudah dapat diterima.
Kedepannya, BAMAK akan dikembangkan ke arah telesupervision dan robotic stereotactic navigation. Dengan teknologi baru dan dedikasi yang tinggi dari tim kami, didukung oleh neurosurgeon yang berpengalaman, BAMAK hadir sebagai solusi sistem stereotaktik handal buatan anak bangsa.
Yeah, so there are many teams, basically from IT teams and also for medical teams. Okay, so this equipment last April was promoted in Germany in Hannover Messe. So this equipment was promoted. So I hope that next year will be produced. Okay, next. Okay, let me give a little bit information when I show in the Hannover Messe, Germany. Okay, please
In the
turn on.
world of medicine, stereotactic tools are needed to perform accurate and precise neurosurgery operations.
This equipment is number 4 in the world. The first one is the brand is Lexel, produced by Sweden. The second one is Inomac from Germany. The third one is CRW from US. And that's number 4. I hope that from Indonesia we can produce a very high technology medical equipment. Hopefully next year we produce this one. And the price now is about 4.5 billion rupiah. 4.5 miliar hardware and software because expensive.
Neurosurgery, surgeons have to perform the action.
This equipment
If
is
required,
substitution of
the
import.
patient's skull must be scanned using CT scan and stereotactic localizer. To perform scan, patient's skull anchored to the main frame using large bolt. Then the
So there are
localizer
many theory, there are many concepts of AI,
on the CT scan bed,
descriptive
main frame
AI,
attached to
and
the frame
also
mount
the
to
generative
secure the
AI
patient's head.
was
The
implemented
patient's
in this
head is
product.
lined with scan laser and localizer. And then the patient's head is scanned.
This during the in vitro.
The MRI file and CT file are fused.
Now we are doing in vivo
The program
test.
will align both files to match the head structure. After alignment is complete, programs will track the fiducials to register physical world location to program location. The tracking is done layer by layer, from the middle slice to the lower part, and from the middle slice to the upper part. Complete tracking will form a W letter, just like the fiducials.
Stop the video
After the
because
tracking
the time. Yeah, stop the video and then next. Okay, this another application of AI is for developing implant. Next, could you turn on the video? This to the develop implant for skull defect.
Rekonstruksi tulang kepala dan tulang wajah diperlukan untuk mengganti bagian kepala dan wajah yang rusak akibat kecelakaan atau faktor genetik. Solusi yang ada sekarang membutuhkan 3 aplikasi, sehingga menciptakan hasil yang kurang akurat. Untuk mendapatkan hasil akurat, kami menciptakan aplikasi pembentukan cetakan implan atau molding dan implan bernama CRASPI.
Aplikasi CRASPI memiliki beberapa kelebihan. Pertama, semi-otomatisasi pembentukan molding dan implan. Seorang praktisi dan dokter mampu membentuk titik-titik pada software CRASPI. Seperti contoh pada menit ini, di saat ada pasien dengan skull defect, maka dokter bisa membuat titik-titik dengan menggunakan software CRASPI, sehingga membentuk sebuah hasil yang kita inginkan. Selain itu, hasil dari molding negatif juga bisa dibuat, tergantung dari yang diinginkan oleh para dokter. Jika kita ingin melakukan suatu pembentukan dari molding secara langsung, dengan software CRASPI kita bisa membentuk tulang secara direct, sehingga akan kita pasang pada kasus skull defect pasien bedah saraf. Kelebihan CRASPI ini lebih cepat, lebih akurat, dan lebih tepat. Dari hasil pengujian dengan menggunakan kepala, menggunakan software CRASPI, hasilnya sangat memuaskan.
Selain pengembangan aplikasi, CRASPI memilih Medical Peak sebagai bahan print 3D implan karena ketahanan terhadap panas tinggi. Untuk membuktikan ketahanan terhadap panas tinggi, hasil Medical Peak diuji dengan 3 tahap sterilisasi. Hasilnya, ukuran tetap sampai sterilisasi akhir.
Please stop the video and then we continue the next slide. Yeah, stop and then okay, this is another one using mixed reality to support the brain surgery. Okay, could you next and turn on the video? So basically developing the combination between
Operasi otak adalah operasi yang kompleks dan berisiko tinggi. Ada banyak struktur penting di otak yang perlu dipahami dokter bedah sebelum menjalankan operasi, seperti jaringan saraf dan pembuluh darah. Jika orang terdekat Anda memerlukan tindakan operasi otak, tentu diharapkan operasi ini bisa berjalan aman dan sukses. Saat ini, banyak teknologi yang dikembangkan untuk dapat membantu jalannya operasi agar lebih aman dan akurat. Salah satu teknologi tersebut adalah mixed reality. Teknologi ini mampu memadukan data virtual untuk diaplikasikan ke dunia nyata. Dalam prosedur operasi otak, data CT dan MRI pasien diolah kemudian dimasukkan dalam bentuk hologram agar dapat dilihat bersamaan dengan kepala pasien pada saat operasi. Kendala di lapangan, pengolahan ini membutuhkan beberapa software sebelum dimasukkan ke dalam mixed reality, sehingga tidak praktis dan memerlukan waktu yang lebih lama. Maka kami mengembangkan aplikasi khusus yang dapat mengolah data-data tersebut hanya dalam satu software dan dapat langsung dimasukkan ke dalam mixed reality. Menggunakan software ini, dokter sangat terbantu untuk membedakan mana struktur normal dan mana struktur tidak normal pada kepala pasien pada saat operasi, sehingga operasi dapat berjalan lebih akurat dan aman.
Okay, so there are many IT research and also the doctor. Okay, so the next is I developed non-invasive blood glucose measurement. So to measure glucose, usually we use a needle, but in this case, I developed the non-invasive blood glucose measurement through the finger. Okay, let me show you the prototype. Next. Okay, this please turn on the video.
Selamat datang, hari ini kami mempersembahkan iGluco, alat pengukur kontinu non-invasif untuk gula darah. iGluco non-invasif, berarti alat kesehatan yang tidak menyakitkan dan dapat digunakan secara terus-menerus. Periode sampling bisa diatur baik secara kontinu maupun periodik. Waktu sampling dan proses perhitungan cepat. Melakukan sampling dan proses dalam satu alat. Data terjamin handal karena disimpan di alat maupun cloud. iGluco dapat terintegrasi publik, pasien, dokter, dan rumah sakit. iGluco berukuran kecil sehingga mudah dibawa. iGluco berbasis artificial intelligence untuk mengukur secara kontinu atau periodik.
Yeah, so this another equipment. There are several equipment that I have developed. It's the iGluco also for non-invasive cholesterol, and the next is also for systolic diastolic. Go to next. Okay, next. Next. Okay. Okay, so there are still several. So basically that's the combination between publication and patent. So if you are doing research, okay, one part, the concept, go to the publication, should be good publication, and also invention for the patent. Okay, so maybe later we can discuss how to publish the result, one for the journal and another one for patent. Okay, because if you publish everything in the journal, your patent will be rejected. Okay, so because the time is limited, so I end my presentation, and maybe if there is still time, you can discuss. Okay, Pak, thank you very much.
Okay, ladies and gentlemen, now we are going to the question and answer session. I like to have 3 questions from the participants. please mention your name and your affiliation. Okay. Okay. One question from the left side of.
Okay, good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you very much for the occasion for us to ask. Okay, I want to ask to second speaker, Professor Saman.
I'm sorry, could you more loud for
Okay,
your...
thank you. My name is Andreas Nugroho from Faculty of Computer Science, Universitas Pembangunan Nasional Veteran Jawa Timur. And I want to ask to Professor Saman, the second speaker. Okay, can we implement ChatGPT or another AI-based system to support language barrier in developed countries? Because if you use our current Google Translate or maybe an application from Chinese country, sometimes the language barrier is not solved. For example, in yesterday when our temple holding some ceremony, some tourists from Vietnam and Chinese come to my temple, and then they cannot speak Indonesian, they cannot speak English. By using Google Translate, still many words got very wrong meaning. So they're confused, we are confused, the priest is confused, something like that. Any research to support the developed countries in Asians, and especially in the languages, because when we test it on the field, very much words is very wrong and have different meanings. So it makes us very hard to communicate with them. Thank you very much.
Okay. Ada turis, kadang Google ini kurang bagus. Apakah AI sama?
Okay, thank you for the translation. Good question, Pak. This basically all the algorithm, also AI that has been developed now. Basically, the computer does not recognize fully or does not know about the content, Pak. For example, this is the sentiment. Suppose the sentiment, what I'm doing, the sentiment analysis. So it is difficult to introduce, to make the computer understand about the content. For example, I give you example. Okay, hello. I give you example. Okay, for instance, cry, menangis, cry. Cry, the standard is negative. The sentiment of cry is negative. If you check the sentiment, that is everything, it's negative. But as a human, we know that cry depends on the context. If you are wearing a black suit and cry in the symmetry, so yes, right, cry is negative. However, if you are wearing a black suit also, but cry in the wisuda, Okay, in the Wisuda, in the university, Wisuda. So cry is not negative, cry is positive. Okay, so based on the context, in the cemetery or in the Wisuda ceremony. The next question, how is about cry in the pernikahan, in the wedding ceremony? Cry in the wedding ceremony is positive or negative? What is the answer? Computer AI is confused for the time being. So for the time being, AI is confused. If you ask the sentiment crying in the wedding ceremony, because the standard now, cry is negative. As a human, we know in the wedding ceremony depends. If your family, your sister or brother married, cry is positive. However, if mantan pacar nikah, wedding of mantan pacar, cry is negative. So sometimes the verb cry could be positive, could be negative. So in this case, the research is AI, descriptive AI, discriminative AI, also generative AI, is to try to develop the algorithm to detect, to know the contextual of the cry. So only cry, if it's not easy, the sentiment. The next one, now I'm doing the translation from Tolaki, one small language from Kendari, okay, Tolaki. So translate from Tolaki to English or Indonesian. So now we are facing polysemy. Polysemy is one word, has two meaning at least. One word has two meaning. The case is Wamundo. In Tolaki, Wamundo. Wamundo, there are two meanings. The first one is orange, jeruk, orange. The second one is betis, your leg. So what happens if you say, I like your Wamundo? That means your orange or your leg. It's dangerous, like, I like your Wamundo, your betis, leg, or your orange. So in this case, we need AI to understand the context. We as human, we know, okay, you like jeruk, orange, or leg. But for the translation, Wamundo, the text, we have to know the content of the sentences. So that is polysemy. So yes, we need descriptive, discriminative AI, also generative AI. We are still doing the research to improve the contextual meaning of one phrase, one sentence, or even one word. Okay, thank you.
Okay, I'm sorry. For this question is also asked for Professor Saman. Professor Saman, are you still with us? Professor Saman? Okay, maybe we are going to the next question, Mr. Mr. Arjan Turnip.
Yeah, thank you, Professor. I have two questions, and one is related to the curriculum about the fastness of developing technology. As we know, currently, the curriculum is still the same when I was a student a long time ago. However, when we see we must create the student with high knowledge of, especially in the artificial intelligence. However, especially in my department, the course about the artificial intelligence is very limited. So in my mind, it is will be a problem in the future since the curriculum doesn't update, even the technology already growing fast. This is the fact. So maybe I'm looking for the opinion of Professor Rianto. And also the second question, and when you saw the last presentation, I saw about the equipment of that detecting the blood glucose from the pinjer. Actually, I also have the similar, but detecting the blood pressure from the pinjer. So what kind of signal do you measure and what kind of sensor do you use to scan that you can get the level of glucose in your equipment? In my cases, I'm using the PPG signal to estimate in order to estimate the blood pressure. So it is the same, or maybe you have another sensor or maybe signal like that. Thank you very much.
Okay, thank you, Mr. Ranjon. Bisa langsung dijawab? Ya.
Okay, so thank you, Mr. Arjun. So I answered the second first. So for the second question, I use a light LED and also light sensor. Yeah. So there are many previous research about infrared or near infrared and what kind of sensor. The problem of developing this kind of application for the medical AI for medical application, the problem is about the electronic components. Because as a researcher, we buy electronic components in the commercial market. Components in the commercial market is the lowest quality, because after the commercial market and then the next step is industrial component. So the lowest one is commercial component. The second one, the higher, is industrial component. Higher than industrial component is military component. And then higher than military is medical components. So medical components very high. However, we cannot buy as a researcher because when we order the quality of the medical components, we have to buy at least 10,000 components, 10,000 units. Our budget is only to buy 10 or maybe 50, but we have to buy at least 10,000, sometimes 25,000. So when I contact the factory and then I ask them, okay, I did the medical grade components. Okay, you have to buy 20,000 units. Okay, that's the problem. So sensor is very important in this case. So I use a infrared sensor, sometimes also RGB sensor for the blood glucose. So it is the very fair blood glucose, because the very fair blood is different with the, if the doctor take with the needle, it is different, little bit different. There is a formulation to convert from very fair blood to the blood from the artery. Okay, so I developed the glucose sensor and also systolic diastolic sensor. I use the light sensor. Okay, that's the second question. So we can discuss many kinds of sensor that we can develop. The first one is difficult to answer. Yes, about the curriculum and about the. So basically, when I asked my friends, lecturer, to discuss about research, and also because we have in Indonesia we have to tridharma, right? We have to teach, and also we have to do research, and also for the society. So when I teach in the class, usually I teach something new from my research. So not only from the standard textbook, but also I give something new. So I motivate students to do research together with me. So based on this research, and then I menghilirkan, collaborate with a company to produce my equipment. But there is program now, Kedareka or matching fund. So ask the company to do research together to produce our result. So yes, in this case, we need not only the curriculum, not only good curriculum, but what we need is academic environment. Academic environment is very important. So between students, lecturers, and also the administration in the university, and also the national, to promote or also to encourage innovation. Not only education, but also innovation, because in Indonesia especially, the innovation is very, very low. Now, there are many publications, but the patents are still low. Patents in Indonesia are very, very low. So hopefully now more publication from Indonesian lecturers, and I hope that in the future also more patent. So there's a strategy when you are doing research, which part is going to the publication and which part going to the patent. And based on this patent, you can collaborate with a company, and then they will product your patent. Yes, Pak, you're right. It is not easy problem. Long time. And also I think about culture also, culture. Our culture now is should be motivated, should be encouraged, because not many students are motivated when they are doing graduate or undergraduate or graduate. Yes, our culture, the main aim, the main objective is still ijazah, formality. But more than ijazah is competence. Okay, more than ijazah is competent. Okay, not student. We as a lecturer, sometimes we do research, we publish only for pangkat. When we need to the higher level, when we want to be a professor and then we do research, we need publication. So publication only for naik pangkat. So publication, we need publication only for the next rank. So when we need publication for achievement, when we need publication for creativity, achievement, innovation. Because in this example, about the medical equipments, 95% we import medical, 95% more we import medical equipments. The question is when our education, when our company can produce or at least substitute the import. So it is very important. So let us discuss together and motivate ourselves to promote publication and also patents. Okay, thank you.
Okay, thank you very much, Prof, for the answer. Unfortunately, the time is up, and I apologize that if there are any question, please directly ask to the Professor Riananto, Professor Saman, and Professor Taufik. Okay, ladies and gentlemen, we finally come to the end of this seminar. Before I close the seminar, I would like to take the conclusion from what the speakers has presented. The first is the concept of hybrid AC-DC house for digitalization in future residential electricity hold great promise as we look ahead to the ever-evolving demands of modern living and sustainability. And then for the second and third presentation about artificial intelligence has the potential to address pressing challenge and improve the lives of people in regions with limited resource and access to services. It can revolutionize healthcare, agriculture, education, finance, disaster management, energy, and more. Okay, I'd like to thank the speaker for the informative and interesting presentation, and all of the participants. Finally, give the applause for the presenter. Thank you. Wassalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.
Once more, let's give an appreciate for our moderator and our keynote speaker. Give it a splendid applause.
Ladies and gentlemen, we have an exciting program ahead, and we are thrilled to be your host as we continue our journey through this event.
So, ladies and gentlemen, esteemed committee and all participants, we've come to the first half of this seminar. And before we dismiss, we would like to capture this momentous occasion in a group photograph. So, we kindly invite all committee and all participants from front to the back of this ballroom together in the front of the stage. And we're gonna take a very meaningful photo. And our photography team will capture this momentous occasion. So we kindly invite from the Mr. Moderator and Ms. Dean and all the participants to come to the stage. Let's work for in this moment. Now we fight for taking for decision. Because we believe that a photo with all of you will be a wonderful memory to cherish. And it represents the united operation that
Now we have arrived to the event, which is lunch, where you are invited to enjoy the meal that we have prepared. We kindly request all guests and participants to take their personal belongings outside.
And before that, we would like to remind participants who haven't filled out the attendance sheet to please complete it at the entrance. After lunch, the event will continue with parallel sections, whereas participants will enter their respective rooms at 12:45 Jakarta time.
For the lunch arrangement, please exit through the ballroom door, proceed straight, then turn left onto the west side. As for our VIP guests, they are invited to have a lunch in promo room. The room assignments have been shared in the WhatsApp group. We hope all participants are prepared. Thank you. Last but not least, good luck and have a nice lunch.